Draw. Others say Trump won, and others say Hillary won. Who do you believe? It's just kind of big. Your head gets filled with a whole bunch of, I don't know what to believe. But the polls that are out today, don't believe them because they're not at all scientific. The only thing that really matters is at the end of the day if the poll numbers move at all, right? And I don't know that this debate last night's going to. I mean, if you're in the Hillary camp, you're all in. If you're in the Trump camp, then you're all in. So I don't know who changed their mind last night. Tom is challenging the big story that everybody's taken away with today that he gave them as a gift to be able to talk about and debate about that didn't need to be. Instead of us talking about whether or not Trump won last night, we get to talk about whether or not he's going to accept the election results. Stupid.
It's just a matter of time. He sure could have said it better, but I think I have a better angle on. Let me play
the clip first, Tom.
Yeah, good.
All right, and then
fine. Nothing like a refresher course.
Well, that's exactly right. For those that did not hear it last night, this is how it went down. And keep in mind, this isn't some liberal moderator. This is Chris Wallace asking him the question. He doesn't answer it. He evades it. And then he specifically came out and said, will you accept the results? Listen in, unless I remember it differently. Here's the audio from last night.
Do you make the same commitment that you will absolutely accept the result of this election?
I will look at it at the time. I'm not looking at anything now. I'll look at it at the time. What I've seen is so bad. First of all, the media is so dishonest and so corrupt, and the pile-on is so amazing. And they've poisoned the minds of the voters.
Sir, there is a tradition in this country. In fact, one of the prides of this country is the peaceful transition of power. Are you saying you're not prepared now to commit to that principle?
What I'm saying is that I will tell you at the time. I'll keep you in suspense.
Well,
okay?
Chris, let me respond to that because that's horrifying.
Okay, Tom, go ahead, defend that.
I just thought it was logical.
Okay,
but
that's logical.
Logical. We will take a look, see if there needs to be any recounts done or anything else, and whatever else is going on.
But that's not the question. There was not a question about whether or not another Florida could happen.
First off, it's a dumb question.
I don't think so. Tom, here's why it's not a dumb question. It's not a dumb question because it's all he's been talking about on the campaign trail.
And find out if there's been any cheating. It's the whole question basis was stupid, and Trump went on too long in his answer. Just babbling on after he had said, "I'll let you know at the time."
Yeah,
we'll make that. And shut up, Trump. Boom. That's it. And I think it was the dragging on of the answer. And hey, if I had an election, when I had my first congressional election here, I wrote to the Board of Elections to find out what we could do because there were 800 complaints filed with Boehlert office, mine, and the local Board of Elections through the several election boards throughout the state.
Tom, there's not going to be any riots if your election doesn't go right. Nobody's going to riot. Nobody's going to not respect the fact that the president has been elected. I don't mean to call your election meaningless in this, but putting the two together, the president of the United States, which unprecedented, a candidate, major candidate, has decided to say he doesn't trust the results and would not say that he does. Comparing that to your election at a local level,
I'll come back and tell you the reason how I did it.
Okay.
I looked into the election irregularities, not for my own election because I knew I had lost, and I told Mr. Zalin at the Board of Elections down there, the criminal division, that I had no intention of pursuing that. But he said, well, why don't you go over here and talk to the election operations? And I talked to her, and they sent out a commission to every county in the state of New York to fix write-in voting in the state of New York. And as a result of my not prosecuting those violations, we got a brand new voting law where you can actually have your write-in votes counted. So
with that said, no one cares right now, Tom. I'm sorry. This is not. I understand what you did, and that's awesome. But at this point, I want to talk about the debate. I don't want to talk about what happened in your local election a few years ago. But at the end of the day, everybody coming out, everybody on the Republican side coming out, with the exception of those that are in his camp, even Laura Ingraham coming out and saying, tweeting out last night during the debate, he should have said he would accept the results. It's unprecedented. No other presidential candidate has ever done this. It's a mistake because how much you want to bet, Tom, that in his campaign headquarters, no matter what they said last night, they all were like hitting themselves in the head saying, what the heck? Ingram, I know. What the heck why would he say that? We told him not to say that, but he did anyway. All it does is make people talk about stupid stuff and not the fact that he won the debate last night.
Very dumb campaign staff.
Okay.
Made a lot of mistakes. Now, in the beginning of the campaign, remember, he would not say that he would not.
I understand all this. I get it.
And then he came back around later and said it. This is a pattern. This is how he does stuff. So
okay, well, it's not a good pattern then. It doesn't help in his fight here. Everybody's going to be. I guarantee you today, they're all going to be talking about this and not the fact that he nailed her on the abortion stuff and not the other issues. Although I think he missed key opportunities to go after her last night.
Yep.
But what are we talking about? We're talking about the fact that he won't respect the results of the election.
I don't really think it comes down to that. I think he's just doing what he did with the Republican nominee or the running of the third party, and he's just hanging it out there to think it out. But nobody's.
Well, he did say to be continued, like it's an episode of The Apprentice.
Against the thing. That's just out. But I think the question was kind of dumb. Why even ask the question? Of course, everybody's going to accept. Finally, when the election is proved correct, accept the results. The question was stupid. Why was it even? And one last thing.
Okay.
Since when does debating have anything to do with governance whatsoever?
Right. It's really about winning and walking away looking better than the other and avoiding the bad questions, and that's what happened last night.
Yeah, and it's all. It's so much. It's unfortunate they put too much emphasis on debating. Yeah. By the way,
all right, leave it. This is your last point.
The League of Women Voters should run all these debates because they're pros, and these guys, with the exception of last night, these show people that are running these debates are a bunch of dimwits and have no control over they have no system. They have no control over the candidates. The League of Women Voters pulled out of the National Debate Commission. I believe it was in 1991 or 2.
Okay, you're killing me. I got to put you on hold. I'll take you more tomorrow. Listen, end of the day, the debate was run incredibly well by Chris Wallace last night. And I got a break. I'm out of time, Tom. I really apologize. I vehemently disagree with you, but what are we going to do? At the end of the day, I thought that debate was run really well last night. And the only way it would have been run that way is with Wallace, who stopped the crowd from getting involved, who asked the questions, who didn't try to debate like happened during the last debate where the moderator was actually debating for Hillary Clinton. I thought it was really well run. It was the best of all. You missed the good debate.